what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 1963 Cadillac Sedan DeVille. Up front is a 6.4 liter V8 and down below is a 4-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this Cadillac Sedan DeVille for two reasons. First of all, it's a 60s Cadillac, it's big, it's beautiful, just like myself. But the second reason is the fact that this is a completely unrestored 30,000 mile example of a Sedan DeVille. It has never been modified, it has never been repainted, it has never been anything but driven very carefully over the last 62 years. And so today, this is the most prime, the most pristine, the most wonderful example you'll see of a Cadillac Sedan DeVille from 1963. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackbradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that 390 cubic inch V8 under the hood. Well, that was the crown jewel. It was a big, lopey, lazy V8, and it did its job very, very well. That is what made Cadillac back in the time. Big V8s. It's a smooth ride, and it's just so silky, so wonderful, absolutely tremendous. Like I said, paired to it is a 4-speed automatic. Now, back in 1963, Cadillac was doing 4 speeds, and that is very, very impressive. Most vehicles at that time either had 3 speeds or sometimes even 2 speeds, like the Power Glide. And so 4-speed was absolutely amazing. Now, in modern day, Cadillac was one of the first companies to use a 10-speed automatic. So they've always been at the forefront of those gear numbers. Last but not least, of course, the Sedan DeVille is rear-wheel drive. So how does it feel to drive the Cadillac Sedan DeVille? It's absolutely wonderful. First of all, you are giant, but it is so smooth. The weight of the vehicle actually helps out with that ride quality. It just dances along the pavement like a choreographed ballet, and that's what you love to see out of a car like this. It is such a sensational drive, and other vehicles from the 60s were not that way. They were rough, they were tumble. Some would even say rough and tumble, and so this was such a different experience. This was so crazy and out of this world that a car could even drive this smooth, that it's really cool to see here 62 years later. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I do have a very horizontal speedometer. Off to the right is the coolant temperature and fuel, and off to the left, we have our light switch and air conditioning. Very characteristic of the 50s, 60s, and 70s to have the air conditioning off to the left of the steering wheel before they had moved it into the right, so the passenger could use it as well. And I do want to note that the air conditioning is working. So cut to the in-car, I have the windows up. It is almost 80 degrees today, and I have the windows up in a classic car review. That never happens. So very cool. Down below, we do have our washers. Moving on to the door, we do have our mirror adjustments, crank for the smoker's window, but then power windows all around. And we do have our 6-way adjustable bench seat. All original, still works lovely. And off to the right, we have a clock, our AM and FM radio. Very nice that it had FM in 63. Then we do have a climate vent, as well as this little badge that says Daniel S. Moran. Now, back in the day when you would spend the money and buy something nice like this, they would actually put your name on the dash of the vehicle. So, Daniel S. Moran was the first owner of this car. Then we do have a slide-out ashtray and cigarette lighter down below, and off to the right we have a nice Cadillac badge on the glove box, as well as some more climate vents. These climate vents are metal, something that went away pretty quickly. This is a really, really nice touch, and I've only seen it in the modern Rolls-Royce Cullinan. So, definitely a nice feature to have. We don't have any center console, but we do have this giant bench seat, which is power. It is 6-way adjustable on the door, as we mentioned earlier, and the whole bench moves when you do that, so kind of funny to see. So, unfortunately, we don't have any cup holders, so it fails the big friggin' bottle test. The bench seat is absolutely amazing. It is so cushy, so comfortable. And I always say, oh, it feels like grandma's couch, feels like grandma's couch. Now, this one looks like my grandma's couch too, with the buttons, with the pattern. Absolutely love that. This was such a nice cruiser. What an amazing, amazing automobile. It just feels so nice. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, and I have a suspicion that that's where you want to be. So let's go do a back seat review. Back of the Sedan DeVille from 1963, just the solid closing of the door. We have another nice bench seat, a big open deck back here. We have a little fold down cushion. No crazy amenities, you know, I don't have TVs, I don't have massage, I don't have a, you know, rear whatever, but this is just a nice place to be. I have adequate amount of space, the seats are comfortable, and I'm in a Cadillac. Everywhere you see is Cadillac branded. And it's so well kept. There's no crazy scuffs. There's no cigarette burn marks back here. It's just a solid representation of this car. I absolutely love this. So take a look at this back seat in all of its glory. However, we do have a trunk, so let's hop back there and talk about the goodies found in there. All right, around the back of the Sedan DeVille, we have our circle key here to pull up. And as you can see, tons of really, really cool artifacts. First of all, obviously the trunk is huge, and here are the jacking instructions for how to lift up the vehicle. Very cool drawings, still intact, still originally secured to the trunk. Once we are back here, this is a plaque that the owner puts up at car shows if you'd like to pause to read about some history of this vehicle. Here is the original window sticker, absolutely beautiful. We have the original Cadillac owner's manual and collection things. These are some old receipts. This is where this car has been, and the owner used to own a limestone quarry down in Pontiac, Illinois. So this was his personal vehicle. You can see all these old notes. 1961 calendar. This must have been his pocket calendar that he kept track of things. So amazing. This is literally history at our hands, ladies and gentlemen. What a beautiful, beautiful showcase of that history. And I hope we do Mr. Moran justice by showcasing his car and how well he kept it until he passed away in 2019. So, Mr. Moran, this is for you. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and how can you deny the 1963 Cadillac Sedan DeVille? Now, again, I want to reiterate, this vehicle has never been repainted. It has never been in an accident. It has 30,000 miles on it. This is exactly how it came out of the factory, and it is finished in beach pebble paint, which was exclusive to Cadillac. They didn't use it in Oldsmobile or Buick or, heaven forbid, Pontiac or Chevy at the time. So this was a special paint color. Might not be the craziest paint color that they did in the 60s, but it is very classy. This vehicle was originally purchased by a man who owned a limestone quarry here in Illinois. So this was a classy show up to work color instead of those wild and wacky pinks and blues that they also offered. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the Sedan DeVille from 1963 in such an amazing condition? Well, this has been absolutely wonderful. I don't think I'll get to drive something this old, this nice, maybe ever again. However, I would happily welcome it. The attention to detail in here is what starts to really sell me on it. The pattern on the door, the nice metal everywhere you look, the smooth cream color, the different mixes of creams. Absolutely amazing in here. It's so comfortable. And honestly, the biggest thing to me, the biggest draw to 60s cars is just how forward thinking they were. Maybe not necessarily their technology, but this feels like it was excited for the future. This feels as though Cadillac was looking to the stars, and it's mimicked in other brands too. Chrysler was selling their turbine-powered car. I recently got to ride in that, and that was so amazing and quiet, and just, you know, they really say the fuselage era, the rocket era, you know, the year this car came out was when JFK was assassinated, but just before this car came out, he was saying, we will land on the moon. It is our duty. We will do it not because it is easy, but because it is hard. There is so much ingenuity in this car. There's so much passion, and it really felt as though we could touch the heavens. That's what this car was all about. This car was prim and proper, not because it looked good on social media, not because it might win them brownie points, but just because it is such a good car. It does the right thing when no one is looking, and that's when it matters. And yeah, This was expensive. It was expensive for its era, but man, if it doesn't inspire you, this vehicle moves you, it motivates you even when it's not trying to. And that's why cars used to be so good. They were so aspirational. They were so excited for what was going to come next instead of just trying to tread water on what's currently going on. I feel like our current car market is just very much treading water, just trying to get by, just trying to make it to dinner time. This wasn't worried about dinner time. This was preparing for dinner time a decade later. This was planning to stick around for a long, long time, and this car has done that. It's been around for a long time, and it will continue to be a symbol, a pillar, a plinth of what the future could have been with Cadillac leading the charge. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Richard for letting me borrow his Sedan DeVille today. He has been absolutely wonderful. We have reviewed several of his Cadillacs here. This, I think, is the crown jewel of his collection, and I think he would agree with me. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.